So if the market's giving you indigestion, go get some Tums. If you want a stock to put away for 10 years, I think that Haleon for me is the name. I'm long the stock. I think the first half of this year is going to give a really good opportunity for people to get involved in it if they don't own it. I think when I say it's something to put away, I think if you think about what 5 years from now or 10 years from now what the company will look like, people will consider it very different from how they do right now. This is a spin out from GSK and Pfizer. They make Tums, they make Sensodyne, they make a lot of brands that you're familiar with. I love the management team. The management team's been in place from before the spin out. This is not a company that's going to go out and do some insane deal like a biotech company and set your money on fire. In fact, they're so free cash flow generative. They've been buying back stock even as the spin out. And the overhangs, they keep getting better. So I like the overhangs that they have. People are worried because Pfizer and GSK, Pfizer owns 22% of the company. They recently sold about $4 billion worth of stock, but the market absorbed it very quickly. Haleon bought some of that stock back. They're paying down debt as a spin out, very common. They get levered up so the parent company can take some cash out. They started at above 4 times when they spun. In less than a year, they're below. They'll be below 3.5 by the end of the year, I expect. And again, about $2 billion worth of free cash flow per year, and they don't have tons of R&D to spend it on. The things that I worry about is if you look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see some organic revenue growth charts. The first half have very tough comps. So the first quarter was the second highest quarter for revenue growth last year. The second quarter was the highest. Now, what I like about this overhang, though, is that they've been very clear. This data that I'm showing is actually put out as an advice from the company last week, just telling people like, hey, this is what we've said before. This is what we're coming up against. And in the lower chart, you'll see the flu, they're a little bit tied since they make Theraflu to the flu, incidents. And this year was a little bit lighter than overall, a little bit lighter flu season, but it was a delayed flu season. So if you see if you can see the chart, the 2023-2024 season is actually a little bit longer and higher than last year. So that might be a little bit of a tailwind. I'm not afraid of these overhangs. What I like is that if in 10 years, if they just decided to buy back, $1 billion worth of stock, they'd buy back half the company in the next decade. So again, I think it's a great put away stock, and there may be a dislocation in this first quarter. I own it. I'm ready to buy more if there is a dislocation. I want to make it a decent sized position for me.